Okay, so everyone, can everyone hear? Yeah. So Ismael, thank you, buddy. You are our concluding guest. Ismael's got up early over in California to answer some questions for us. So I'm going to show you. We have a bunch of lovely ladies and a few guys here. Some have just gone out for a break, but they're going to come back in. We've gone on toilet break, but they're coming back in. So, Ismael, we're here in Bournemouth in the UK, southern coast of England. So we've got beautiful sunshine. I would say Bournemouth is California comparison for the UK. It's the closest thing we've got to California. Okay. We've got Ismael with us. And what have you got for us today, buddy? What's new? What have you realized in the last, since we did our show a few weeks ago? What have you got as an update, a new message for everyone here? And then we're going to have a bit of a Q&A. So I'll invite certain guests to ask you their questions as well. So what have you got for us, buddy?
Well, we are obviously things are moving in the right direction for the Earth Alliance and the White Hats. But like I mentioned before, due to a time war that's taking place in the future between artificial intelligence and I guess us in our angelic humanoid powers, things are constantly fluctuating. But from what I understand, like I mentioned before, is that because we have pinned down the dark side on every probable reality, it's just a matter of time before we start seeing the results here in our current time. So that's the good news, is that the forces of light, as prophesied in the Bible, do have the upper hand. We will have a new earth. We will have a better reality for the good people of the earth very, very soon. The current financial system is in collapse. In fact, the entire paradigm of the old guard, which was ruled by, of course, the Dark Hats, is in collapse. And the Earth Alliance is, getting ready to initiate the rainbow currency through XRP and XLM and all that stuff, which is going to benefit humanity. So that's the good news, is that things are still in progress as far as bringing forth a better humanity. And as far as like the galactics are concerned, we have all the help in the universe right now. All attention and all eyes are on us because of the fact that Earth is at the epicenter of all the probable realities, both going forward and backward in time. We are receiving assistance from all the benevolent ET races. Some people call them the angels of the Bible, the benevolent races, but we're dealing with higher dimensional beings. So yes, you could see them as angelics. And they are all working together to keep our solar system, to keep the stargates closed so that no invading force could come in at this time until, of course, this transition takes place that is going to allow us to go from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. So things are looking good. We have nothing to worry about. The only thing I do suggest is that people need to stop focusing and stop listening to the fear-mongering propaganda that is being, generated by the Dark Hats and their agents. People need to just start focusing on their own personal development at this time and their own personal reality, really. And the reason being is because mind does create. So when you have a bunch of people thinking about once and thinking about the same thing, that's they're putting energy into that probable reality. So what we want is we want people to just focus on the positive, because as I speak, right now, the negative Earth, the negative timeline, the positive timeline are coexisting. But soon there's going to be a split in reality where the people that are focusing on, their own personal development, heaven on earth, are going to go into this new spiritual Earth that is already coexisting with us, but it's existing in a higher dimension. So the shift is coming and people need to make the choice now. If they're going to stay in the old Earth, or are they going to graduate with the new ascending Earth? Planetary ascension is upon us. So we just have to remember that there is a divine plan. And we have to understand that, everything is in divine timing. We can no longer put dates on events. I know, for the last few years, it seems like through different white hat sources, people are like, well, when is Nasera going to happen? When is the EBS going to happen? And they've been putting dates on this. But you have to understand that due to the timeline war that's been taking place in the future and the Mandela effect, right? We're constantly shifting into different parallel versions of the Earth. But overall, on every parallel version, The light has pinned down the darkness. Think about it as a chess game. You know, there's a huge, it's a multi-dimensional chess game. And so the White Hats or the Earth Alliance and all the benevolent races have already pinned down the Dark Hats on every probable future. So there will be an EBS. There will be a new financial system, and there will be an overthrow on a public level of the cabal, where it's going to be seen, you know, broadcasted through mass media everywhere. So that is the good news. You know, people just need to be a little bit more patient and understand that there is a God, that there is a supreme being known by many names. And no, it's not just one guy with the beard sitting on a cloud throwing darts. I'm talking about a supreme being that is all energy, all encompassing. It's everywhere at once. You know, it's pure energy. We are connected to that. We are part of that. We're fractals of that oneness. You know, so we have to understand that everything is in divine timing.
I like that. The darts making me think of The Simpsons. I'm gonna have to do the numbers on your T-shirt as we're talking, Ismael. But you said about the Mandela effect. So I know your name is 129, which is Judgment Day. Judgment Day is one of my go-tos with Terminator 2. Terminator is Simulation 133. But I had an experience last year. I was traveling the States, and some of you would have seen the video shows that I did with Rachel Right Side Blonde. So I was with her and her family for a couple of weeks on and off, and we would do shows quite regularly. And we were watching Terminator 2, and she'd never seen it before. So it came up, she went, Judgment Day, they've spelled Judgment Day wrong. And they changed it. And it was the Mandela effect. And I think you and me might have spoken about this, Ismael. So Judgment Day with an E is 129. But it's so on point that Ismael brought that up and said Mandela effect, because it had changed. They dropped the E off and it reduced the number. And I was like, wow, how would that happen? So it's very interesting that you, Judgment Day 129 for Terminator, actually talk about and mention the Mandela effect. And I've got someone else in the audience that their numbers are also 129, so I'll bring her on in a bit. But has anyone got a question before we go to?
What effect does that have, though? Does that change the vibration?
Come and talk to Ismael. Come and have a. What's your name again? Karen. Come and meet Karen, Ismael. She's going to ask you the question. Come on.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, Karen.
Nice to meet you. Hi. We're just talking about the Mandela effect. So if you take the E out of judgment, this is what Tom was saying. Does that bring down the vibration, though, because it's actually changed? It's changed the numbers. So will that how will that affect?
Not necessarily, because there is a mainframe timeline that is going to stay intact when all the different probable timelines collapse due to the solar event that we're about. You know, we're expecting a huge solar event. They call it by many names. You know, the Great Transition, the Solar Flash, the Solar Sneeze. When that happens, they're all going to collapse into a mainframe timeline. So it's not going to affect anything. It's not going to affect anything. You know, we will be witnessing very shortly. I don't want to give any more dates, but it's going to happen very soon. A transition into a new reality. And for those that are good, those that are, you know, living according to universal laws and spiritual principles, are going to inherit the new earth. The only people that have to worry is the wicked. The wicked are going to be burned. They're going to be eliminated when this happens. So yeah, it's not making any. It's not making it. How can I say it? It's not going to make a difference. You know.
That sounds great. I heard something different to that, which is that the Earth was going on her own ascension path herself, and we were behind or something, and that would be all right. But that's what I heard at some stage. But who knows what to believe, really? But
well, yeah, the Earth is destined to take her rightful place in the universe. You know, just as recorded in every ancient account, including the Book of Revelation, there will be a new heaven and a new earth. However that takes place, a lot of it has to do in how we choose how we choose to think and feel on a daily basis, because you're constantly gravitating towards either the positive ascending timeline or the negative timeline, which is going to be ruled by artificial intelligence. So we have to make the choice now. You know, AI is now coming to the scene more so than ever, which is indicating that there will be a bifurcation. You know, some people are going to take the transhumanist path, unfortunately for them. So yes, the greatest enemy that we are fighting here is not a cabal, because even the cabal is like puppet strings are being used by this negative alien AI. For those that are familiar with my work, I've been talking about this negative alien AI that has been destroying galaxies, wreaking havoc throughout different universes. So, you know, we have to make the choice now.
See, I know what the next question is.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Thanks, Ismael. So we got Brian here, who's a stalwart of everything over here in England. Ismael, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, Brian.
Oh, how are you? You good?
Well, thank you.
Good, good. Tom has just thrown me up here. What do I want to ask you? What do I want to ask you?
You said to me he's a fascinating character. I said, yeah, he is.
Yeah, you are a fascinating chap.
Ask him
So
anything.
I'm going to need a few minutes to think about this. Can we get someone else?
Can you ask him?
Gary, you come. Gary, you come.
Hi there, nice to meet you.
Hi.
My name's Jerry, nice to meet you. Can
Jerry.
you explain more what you mean by the bifurcation of the earth? When you say that the people who are wicked or choose to be transhuman, I mean, is that the bulk of the population? Because I'm praying and intending that the bulk will be saved.
Well, there will be a critical mass. We're going to reach critical mass where, again, when the EVS takes place and a disclosure takes place on a massive scale, where even the normies are going to get, you know, the unfortunate news about the truth of what's been going on. They're at that point, they're going to make a choice if whether to believe it or not, you know, whether to snap out of the program, out of their hypnosis, right? Because in a sense, everyone's under mind control.
Yeah.
You know, since we were born, we have been programmed. So if there will come a time where the masses, the normies, are going to have to make that choice. And if they choose wisely, then they're going to make the shift into the new earth, when the bifurcation, when the split. It's not a physical split, it's the split in frequencies, where one part of the earth is going to be ascending into the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, which is really where we came from, you know, which is the Terra Earth. That's corresponding to the times of Atlantis, right? When we were still in a heightened state of consciousness and connected to God through our own divinity. So that's returning back for those that are going to make that positive choice, or that choice to go into that new reality. So the earth as a whole is graduating. So it is up to us to either graduate with her when the split takes place, or to be left behind.
So,
But yes,
so that,
the choice.
sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry.
The choice is going to come to the masses when the disclosure takes place. People are going to have to make that choice.
But I mean, in terms of just say most people do, I mean, in terms of actually physically being on the earth, how do you envisage it would look with those that have made a different choice? You say they might be burned. Is that just the cabal and the minions, or are they going to be living in a separate place on the earth? I'm trying to ask your vision of it.
Okay, from what I understand is that when the earth shifts into the higher dimensions, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, the wicked on that earth are going to just be burned off, because their bodies won't be able to withstand the new vibration, the new frequency, right? Which is based on what? Unconditional love, brotherhood, compassion, sisterhood, harmony, and balance. So if they're not in that mindset, if they're still in that service to self, narcissistic, parasitic mindset, which is what the cabal is, very reptilian in nature, then they're going to be in the new earth, in the new, ascending earth. They're going to be burned away. They're going to be eliminated. But a version of themselves who are connecting to the beast, which is artificial intelligence, and it's already happening. A lot of people have already been augmented by integrating with technology. A lot of the powerful. No, I'm not talking. No, I'm talking about people that are part of the elites, that are the billionaires, that are already integrating with technology. They're actually going to be in a different parallel Earth, right? They're going to be going into that timeline. So you have to think about it as two different Earths, like this, like just they're going to be splitting. Right now, they're coexisting. So the positive timeline, that's where the wicked get burned or eliminated. But in the negative timeline, which is being created right now through Zuckerberg's version of the metaverse and digital reality and cybernetics, in that Earth that does not ascend, a version of the wicked are going to continue to exist because of the fact that they integrated with technology. Yeah. But this doesn't include those that got actually coerced. They were forced to get the, so that they could keep their jobs. So depending on where their heart is, if they're generally good people, the solar flash will neutralize, the poison in their body so that they could ascend and make the shift into the new Earth. But for those that believed in the mark of the beast, right? Those that that didn't get coerced, but got the one after another because they strongly believed, then unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to make the shift because that was a choice that they made. Everything is based on their individual choice. So people are now making the choice whether they are going to go to the new Earth or whether they are going to go into the artificial, cybernetic, technocratic dystopia.
Fascinating. I mean, some people who I know, people have taken 5 or 6 of these things, and they're not bad people in any way. They've just been, they're so sucked into it that they couldn't stop almost. Do you know what I mean? I know it must be a soul choice, but it's very odd because they seem to have changed personality.
Well, that's because the stuff that they're putting in their body is very, it's at the level of nanotech. It's actually growing in their bodies, and it takes a few years for it to take over their nervous system and their brain. Once it does that, then they become totally different. At that point, they are no longer an individual. They are no longer capable of thinking for themselves. In other words, their mind gets completely taken over by the living artificial, I want to call it parasite, because that's what it is. It's an AI at a nanoscale of reality that eventually takes over their brains. And so they're going to have an opportunity, however, to snap out of it when the EBS and the disclosure takes place, and they're going to have to make that choice at that point. So everything's going to boil down to that day when the white hats take over the airwaves through Project Odin and announce, what is happening, the military tribunals and so on and so forth. The people of the earth are going to have to make that choice when that happens.
Hey, fascinating.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ismael, this is Laura G, and her full name comes to 129, which is Ismael Perez 129, Judgment Day 129. So this is Laura.
Hi, Ismael.
Hey, Laura.
Hi. So my question is, I was told a while ago that I was a dual-souled being.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if you had any idea what that might mean.
A jewel? Like a jewel?
A jewel, like two-souled being.
Mm-hmm.
Jewel. D-U-A-L. Jewel.
Yeah. This is my accent.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never heard of that term, but based on reading your own energy and your aura, you're definitely a star being. You're I believe you are a starseed. I feel that about you. You're very advanced. You're an old soul, in other words.
Okay, thank you. That was
You're
my
welcome.
question.
Any other questions? We will.
I'm not sure if I do.
So Kelly's got a question.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Kelly.
welcome.
Thanks, Laura.
Hi, Ishmael.
This is Kelly.
Hi.
Okay.
I was
Hi.
just wondering, hi, are we going to be locked down? Is it going to be another worldwide lockdown? No.
Not in the positive timeline. Right now, there are many different versions of the Earth where, we have on one side of the spectrum of that, we have like the worst taking place, another lockdown. perhaps the Great Reset, digital central currency imposed by the globalist. And then on the other side of that spectrum, we have the fall of the initiation of a new reality that is going to benefit humanity, right? Through Gesera Nasera and so on and so forth. And then we have everything in between. So right now, all these parallel Earths are coexisting. They're coexisting, and depending on where you are personally vibrating through your own personal beliefs, your own personal thoughts and emotions, and really based on what you do on a daily basis, you're going to be either on one part of the timeline or on the other. So that's why I always stress that it's important to be mindful of your thoughts, because throughout the day, we have thousands of thoughts, and these thoughts are determining in which parallel Earth you are constantly shifting into. So, it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of choice, but I don't believe that it's going to happen in our personal timeline, because we're not vibrating with fear. We're not vibrating with what, the propaganda is trying to feed the masses. We're beyond that, I believe. So it's not going to happen in our timeline.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have two amazing sisters here, Ismael. They're called the Magna Carta sisters. We've got one half of them, so.
Yeah, just the one half here at the moment. I've been listening to you. Oh, hi, I'm Angie, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I've been listening to you for a few months now, because when I first heard you, a lot of stuff that you came out with really resonated with me. When all the truth of stuff started coming out, then I went into panic mode, because I trained with the National Federation of Spiritual Healers nearly 30 years ago now. And I had many interactions through meditation anyway, through meditation with masters, ascended masters. And then when all this came about, it was like, oh my God, was they messing with my head? However, back then I knew that, it was all with love and from the divine creator and all this. So my question to you is, ascended masters or alien beings, or is that the same? Yeah.
Any being that exists any being or intelligence that is existing in the fifth dimension enough are in a way considered angelic. Yes, they are beings that are light, of the light. So yes, positive extraterrestrials, benevolent extraterrestrials that are in service to others, that are living according to the plan of the one infinite creator, right? Children of the one God, are considered. To give you an example, for instance, the Pleiades. The Pleiades are the angels in the Bible. They are the ones that have been guiding us from behind the scenes. Well, not only the Pleiades, but other benevolent races like the Venusians, like the Andromedans, Arcturians. These are positive races that are considered angelics because they exist in a higher dimension and a higher reality. And also because they don't age and die like we do. So in a sense, they are kind of immortal. There's different lifespans depending on which level of reality you're existing in. So ascended masters and positive ETs are equivalent to the concept of angelics. Yes,
Okay.
they are. And in like manner, the fallen races, right? The negative regressives, the negative alien agenda, and those that are associated with the draconians and the grays and all the fallen, races, they're also considered, if you could say, demonic, right? Those that are working with the archon energy and stuff.
Okay. Great. Okay. Well, that's great, because it was just like I went into this panic, but there was no way they were something demonic, because it was all too good, and the energies were good, the healing was good, and and all this sort of thing. But one day I was having an experience. I was actually it was when I first started getting into it. I was practicing seeing the aura of myself, and I was looking in a mirror, and I was doing this exercise, and 5 beings stood behind me. Beautiful. I felt really good from this. It was love, but they were just light bodies. It was. I've had some amazing experiences like that. And I feel blessed. Yeah, and another. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that's awesome that you're that you had those experiences.
But I need them back. I
You
need
need-
them to come back. I've kind of, it's
Yeah.
like I've become detached. I don't know why. I lived abroad for many years, and I actually came back to the UK about 10 years ago. And since I've been back, yes, there's been a lot of emotional stuff that's gone on within my family. And it's also, it seemed like there's a detachment. It's like it was cut off, and I don't know
Okay,
why.
so because we are entering the age of accountability, of self-empowerment, the reason those beings are not coming back is because they want you to begin to connect with your own higher self, because you have all the answers within you. We are fractals of the entire universe. Everything that exists within the universe exists within you. So we're going to be entering a time where there will be no more crutches, no more depending on external sources. So the ascended masters and the angels fulfilled their part. They were there for us, okay? But now, because we're moving into a time where we have to connect with our higher selves, we can no longer codepend on them anymore, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So that they want you to do the inner work. How often do you meditate?
Not as often as I should, not as often as I used to, because
that
that's when
explains it.
yeah, exactly. That explains it. There you go. Just answered my own question. But yeah, I need to get back into that, because, you know, like 20 odd years ago, it was my whole life. You know, I mean, animals would literally just come up to me in the street that was injured for me to, you know, put the hands and do healing channel, should I say. It wasn't me. It's not me. When you're a healer, you're just a channel.
I agree. Yeah, we're all instruments.
Yeah,
I recommend that you return back to your spiritual practices. Like
I do. I need to get back to that. I really do. And just put the emotional stress behind me. It was, yeah, a lot of stuff. By the way, I did get your book, but I had
the new version.
Your book. I bought your book, but I had one of the dodgy ones. Unfortunately, no, it's the old cover.
Okay.
And some of the words, you know, that they'd messed about with at Amazon. You
Yeah.
did tell us. But anyway, I kind of read between the lines, but it's great. I haven't finished it yet, but
Well, this one reads much simpler, and the message is fully intact because I was able to actually read it one last time before they put it into print. Whereas the first edition, I put it through the editor many times, but at the end, right before they printed it, they kind of rearranged all the words and made it look like it wasn't edited. So
yeah.
I think that's part of their way to sabotage, because there's so much knowledge in this book. I mean, I don't just talk about galactic history. I go into like how it all really is, you know, the different levels of reality, the dimensions and how they work, you know, and it's in a way to bridge the gap between ancient metaphysics, or the ancient knowledge that has been suppressed for thousands of years, and then bridging it with cutting edge, you know, quantum physics and all that stuff. So I would suggest to order the new version, because it's going to make more sense. And also because I added the new chapter that ties into like what happens after the ascension and stuff. So it's very, very intriguing and fascinating.
But to be honest with you, the first version, the one that I've actually got, I fully comprehend it because of what I know from what's happened in my life with beings and ascended masters. So I fully comprehend it. This is why it was just, wow. So the words that they, you know, jumbled up, I was able to read between the lines on that. So it's not a problem.
Beautiful.
But the other chapter sounds interesting, so maybe I'll consider buying another one.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. You're welcome.
God
Nice
bless.
meeting you. Likewise.
Ismael, this is Leanne. Thanks, Angie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Likewise, Leanne.
So I woke up around the time my dad was passing away, and my mum then went on to pass away 17th of November 2017. So my thing's been about numbers for a long time. I found Tom Numbers. God bless you, love you. So it's helped me, and it's helped me through, it's helped me guide myself through what I'm feeling a lot of the time. So I feel like we're going for a shift, and I'm told, and a lot of people say, that our family members that have passed over are going to come back to us. I may not be seeing it in the same light, but I feel like my mum and my family never left me. I feel like everywhere I look, these signs and things are happening. And sometimes I don't feel like it's coming from them. I feel like I'm making it up. And I just want to know, are we going to see them in a physical sense again? Or are we all going to embody the knowing that what we're feeling and our thoughts and the signs that we see is that going to be the way that we move together again? I don't know if you're understanding me, because I'm shaking now because I'm full of energy and nerves, but although we're told we're going to see our loved ones again that have passed over, I think the way I'm trying to get at it, are we going to see them in a physical sense, or is it going to be just our emotional senses and things that we are sort of sensing and feeling through signs and things like that? It's not coming out in the right way because I'm shaking like a leaf, sorry. But I just think I've gone through a lot of stuff, and I got called to come here today, and I think, I'm shot to bits of nerves, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's always going to take some deep breaths when you're, feeling like you're a bit shaky and stuff. But I would say that yes, the answer is yes. And I've been talking about this ever since I came out into the scene, that because we are in our last incarnation, those that have passed within the last 10 years or 15 years are already there in the fifth dimensional Earth. So of course we're going to see them. And in physical reality, physicality exists all the way to the 12th dimension. It's just different matter vibrating at different frequencies. So yes, there will be a reunion with our loved ones. And you're right, they never really left you, because all the dimensions are occupying the same space at the same time. In other words, they're all already here. It's just that they're, realities that are kind of like, think of dimensions like radio frequencies and television frequencies. They're all occupying the same space, but you only interface with them when you tune into that particular frequency. Mm-hmm. So as we all ascend collectively, we're going to tune into the fifth dimensional Earth reality, where Tartaria is still there, Atlantis is still there, Lemuria, and all the magical beings that once existed. They're all fully intact. They're waiting for us to, translate into their reality. In other words, so they're all going to be there. Yes.
Sorry, I know it came out in a bit of a confusing manner. It's just that I've been holding a lot of stuff back and sat in the back of the room, and actually it was just one question that, seeing them in the physical sense again is something that I'm dreaming of, really, just to feel that again, and not just feel like I'm just bringing in these thoughts and feelings, but they're not really with me. I just need them again. So yeah, I think that was just really where I was going with that question. Sorry.
No, yeah, and they're with you.
180.
So the resurrection is coming back.
Yeah, and there's a heck of a lot on my numbers that, and I bought the ticket the night you put your show out, so that, I knew I had to come because there's a lot to it. So, but yeah, I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm so sorry. I'll leave you be, but God bless you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Ismael, you were saying something to her then, and I said about her number, but you were finishing off.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just let her know that all her loved ones that have passed are still with her. They're still around her. That's why she feels her presence. I don't know if you could hear me.
Hello. Yeah, sorry, I was just.
They're still there with you. That's why you feel their presence. They never really left you in spirit,
Just
so let's liken the fifth dimension to what heaven on earth would be like. So they're already in heaven on earth. So again, they're with you. They never left you, but the time will come where you will physically be interacting with them soon. And the difference is that instead of dying, as we undergo ascension, our bodies are just going to transfigurate. They're just going to translate. We're not going to taste death. And even the Bible is a book of great allegories and metaphors. Even though it was corrupted by the cabal to a degree, right? But a lot of the metaphors were left intact. That's why we have to not take it literal, but just really just try to decipher what each metaphor is in the Bible. So
okay. All right, lovely. Thank you.
Thanks, Ismael.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
We're still with Ismael, Serena, and in terms of the resurrection, the answer question. So I've been saying this since day one, that President Trump 198 is the resurrection. And he did a piece on TV, early lockdown. A lady's mother died of COVID, and he's on a live TV show, and he said, he's listening, she's crying. She's a Hispanic American lady. Yeah, my mother died. Okay, your mother. So what we'll do is we'll do this and we'll do this and she'll be alive and she'll be well. So he talked in the present tense, and it probably went past most people's thoughts. But he basically said, "We'll resurrect her," because President Trump 198, the resurrection. So it's totally true what Ismael's saying. So yeah, Serena.
Okay, hi Ishmael.
Hi, Serena.
My kind of query is I did a meditation and I was channeling, and the information that got channeled to me was around a mass meditation so that we could our souls could jump into a new physical body in the new earth. And I was just wondering what your thoughts on that is, and if you've had any kind of information around that, like with the emerald tablets of Thoth. So he talks about obviously doing a soul jump and having many incarnations, but we can kind of control that. So it was kind of like, what are your thoughts around that? And is that something that would possibly be possible in another timeline in the future?
Okay, so just to give you a quick understanding about the emerald tablets, Thoth was actually compromised. So he took that information from the original ancient manuscripts known as the CDT plates, which were manuscripts that were actually written down by the guardians of our universe, the Emerald Order. And that's why they're called the Emerald Tablets. And I've mentioned who the Emerald Order is. They are beyond Galactic Federation, right? They're an interdimensional alliance of benevolent beings known as the Guardian Alliance. So to answer your question, our consciousness is actually fragmented and scattered throughout the different levels of reality on different timelines and in different parallel universes. What I mean is, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I just recently put out a video about how we are multidimensional beings and that there are versions of ourselves animating different avatars in different bodies. So we do have multiple bodies in other dimensions and in different timelines. And our consciousness is so vast that only a fraction of it is needed to animate your current body in this particular reality. Whereas the other 98 or 99% of your consciousness is animating, perhaps an infinite amount of bodies on different parallel universes and Earths. So yes, you have the ability to shift into different bodies. But what we're doing now is because all the timelines are going to be collapsing due to the great solar flash event that's coming, depending on where you're vibrating, this is a time where you're going to be integrating and anchoring in all those aspects of yourself. And your body is just going to transform to accommodate which aspect and version you are vibrating at. So we're not going to die. All we're going to be doing is integrating and anchoring in different aspects of ourselves that are in a way already immortal, that live in higher dimensions. So we're going to be integrating our galactic avatars with our physical avatars of flesh and bones. And that's what's going to make our body transfigure or transform into the crystalline based structure that is actually more, you could say, more suitable to exist, where you don't no longer age or die or have illnesses, and that's what's going to be happening.
Okay. And with the crystalline kind of energy, because I've also had another vision where it's been like we've got like silver blood running through our veins. Would that be something similar? Because they were kind of channeling to me about us interbreeding with other multidimensional beings. Like, this is way out into the future. And is that something that is going to be possible as well? Like, do you think that's going to come?
Well, with the crystalline body, we are immortal. We no longer experience death as we know it here with the carbon-based body. In fact, we used to be crystalline, and 99% of our DNA is crystalline. And even higher than that, there's also etheric matter, what's called double diamond DNA, and then there's also hydroplasmic DNA. But in order to operate at hydroplasmic DNA, we are literally plasma beings capable of materializing any physical body at will, or going anywhere in the multiverse at will, right? As we collapse our material form or dematerialize it into pure energy and then travel at the speed of light to then rematerialize it again, we have to be operating with 48 strands of DNA. We are heading into that direction, by the way, as we continue ascending. But yeah, I mean, the way I understand blood is plasma. It doesn't have a color. It's technically light. As we go into our crystalline body, our blood isn't going to be red anymore. It's just going to be like light. It's going to be plasma. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. This is Susie. Two numbers on what you just said. What Susie just, what Serena just asked. So I already mentioned simulation and Terminator, reference to Judgment Day when Ismael brought that up with Mandela effect. So silver blood is 48, and I just said that to you. Said 48, and then he said 48 strands. 48 is Tom. Karen's 48. There you go. And silver is 85, awakening storm. So silver blood, I don't know, that's a new phrase to me, so I'm intrigued to look at that. But silver blood is 133, which is Terminator, but it's also simulation. So anyway, just an interesting thought. But this is Susie. Ismael.
Hello, Ismael. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hi there. My question is, there's many of us who have people in our families and our loved ones who are not awake and have no idea what it means. Is there a way in which we who are privileged to be awake can help them come forward? Because otherwise the thought of losing them in the spiritual sense is such a sad thing to anticipate. Is there some way that we can use our power in order to bring them to the light, dragging them screaming, I suppose? But is there some way to help? You know, because I feel sometimes a bit arrogant when I'm speaking to some of my relatives. You know, you'll see, that's not a good way to be, I know. Is there some way that we can help bring those other people to us before it's too late?
Absolutely. Yeah. Instead of being confrontational and trying to challenge their belief systems, which is based on their own programming,
yes,
which means that it's very hard for them to accept because they're really hypnotized, you know, through the frequencies, 5G, you know, the computer gadgets, everything is bombarding them with frequencies to numb their mind. The best way to do it is by dropping little droplets of nuggets or little nuggets of intel, yes, without trying to confront them about it. But the best effective way to do it is through your example, by the way you live your life.
Yes.
If they see a change in you, if they see that all of a sudden you're just, you know, full of joy and full of positive energy and you're manifesting things, they're going to gravitate towards that and they're going to wonder why. Now, there is a second way to affect them. Through your own personal meditation, when you're meditating, try to visualize them in a white light. Visualize them in a white light, and what you're doing is you're actually helping them transition into the new earth. So that what that means is the more you visualize them in the white light through your meditations, the more you are overriding their programming so that they could eventually get it and say, hey, I want to know more, tell me more. But we don't do it. We have to do it from behind the scenes through our own imagination and visualization. Because if we do it confrontationally, they're so programmed, similar to the movie The Matrix, that they're going to fight you, you know, tooth and nail. Tooth and nail to preserve their program, right? Just like in the movie The Matrix. You can't just physically, verbally try to convince somebody to snap out of their programming because it's impossible, you know. But you could do it through the subtle realms by sending them energy, by focusing on the white light around them. Every time you meditate, send love, light, and energy to them.
Yeah, I'm trying that. But you've said that I should change myself. And I do feel that I am confrontational because I can't shake the living daylights out of them to get them awake. And I think what you've just said goes straight to my heart. And I think you speak such truth that I need to show the way that I am, in that I'm positively walking my talk. And I think I need to do that. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Welcome.
My last but not least, we have my assistant and host for today. So big round of applause.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Femke. Hi. My question was on a very practical level about the human embodiment, because I see that that's sometimes very challenging to manage, although there is also expansion in it. It's part of the reason why we're here. What are the physical and or spiritual practices that you see the most benefit in order for us to transition to higher timelines?
Breath work. The reason I say breath work is because at the core of all meditative practices or all spiritual practices, including Tai Chi and yoga and all that stuff, transcendental meditation is breath work. Breath is life, is transforming the oxygen into chi, prana, energy. So the more you are focusing on that breath work, the more you are building your chi, the more you are building your light body. Because the whole purpose of us transforming our molecular structure of flesh and blood into a crystalline structure that is more suitable for us is through the accumulation of energy that we are intaking through the breath work. That's how you expand your light body, and that's how you connect more so also with your higher self. With your higher self being, your divinity, your who you are as a fractal of the one. At the highest level of reality, you are already eternal, an eternal being. So the more you connect through the breath work, the more downloads and the more personal, I guess, revelations are going to be revealed to yourself. So I would say breath work.
Is there like a
do-
particular source or?
Well, I teach Kriya Kundalini yoga. Yeah, there are so many methods.
Many ways that lead to Rome.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You had a question?
Oh, no, I was just saying that I teach meditations myself in my online courses. I teach you how to connect with your multidimensional self so that you could begin integrating those parts of yourself that are beyond the, third dimension, that are existing in higher levels.
That's wonderful. I'll look into that. Thank you so much. That is a good answer. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, thank you, brother. It's great having
Yeah.
you on the show. And
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure.
you've been a big hit, buddy. You've been a big hit. Thank you. And talking of meditation, to meditate, or meditation, no, it's meditate. Meditate is 77, which is hertz as in frequency. It's power, it's Christ. And PEMF is at the back, and it's also cherry. So not that she's on it, we had a joke about cherry during the weekend. So anyway, but so cherry, Christ, power, hertz, quasar is 77. Meditate. So how can people find you, buddy?
People could find me through my new website called thecosmicarts.com. All my links are there, my online courses, and the link that will allow you to order my new edition. So you could only get my new edition through my website, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome,
so
buddy.
thecosmicarts.com.
We'll do that. And so highest quality, I did your t-shirt numbers. That's 181. Plus Ismael Perez is 129, Judgment Day, and together 310. And 310 comes to the quantum financial system. So
Well, let me show you the rest of the shirt, because this is actually my gym shirt. I was about to go to the gym. It's early morning over here. But the rest of my shirt says the highest quality whiskey. And I don't really drink. I don't drink anymore.
Hang on, stay there, buddy. Let me get that. I'll get that. I'll get the numbers on that later and I'll send it to you. Brilliant.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, buddy. Thanks.
You guys. Bye, guys. Take care.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers.